Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. Thank you so much if you have been. I'm Deanne Castro, Creative Memories Advisor in Bakersfield, California, and I have a scrapbook border to show you today using the Secret Box #4 collection. And I love this collection because it's kind of just muted colors and it can go with just about any photo that you want to put on the page. So let's go over and take a look. Okay, here's the collection. We have timeless textures. We have the 12-inch laser cut borders. We have the regular embellishment pack. We have timeless textures, soft and woven papers. So you can see how they're really kind of muted colors. And they would go with older photos or newer photos, all kinds of different ones that may have these colors in them, or you just want your photos to shine with some background muted colors. Okay, so this was the border that I made using this paper. I love it. It also is using the Border Maker cartridge that came in with this collection in this secret box. It's called, let's see, Wavy Scallop Border Maker cartridge. And I really love how this looks, especially being layered. Okay, this border has 4 different layers. And I wanted to show you some other ideas with this. I went to my scrap box. I just pulled out a bunch of paper colors that I thought would go well together. So these are papers that came out of like the 4th of July paper pack. And this sticker is out of a travel pack that was kind of like a Disney theme type thing. So I just kind of mixed and matched just a little bit here. This one is a tropical theme. And I just cut some of the laser cut borders using some foam squares, and I just cut these and just popped them up kind of in the middle of the border right there. And this one was just some different papers. This was a wood themed type paper pack. This was the sunflower. This was orange out of a piece of paper. Some pack, honestly, guys, I can't even remember what these were in, and some black shimmer paper. So I just kind of threw this one together, added an embellishment with some thin foam squares, and got this one done. Actually, I really, really like this one. So how I made it is I used these particular papers out of the Timeless Textures paper packs. I'm using this side. This is the back side of that one. And I'm using, this is the back side, which has kind of like cloth type texture on it. And I'm going to be using this one that is more like, I don't know, to me, it's kind of like stamped concrete. I really like it. The key to this is making sure you're using varied colors that will show up in the different layers. The bottom is this gray, and on the back, it just has a really light brown color. And then I'm using this one that's kind of like a brown basket weave. I really like this one. This is really pretty. And the back of it has a different brown basket weave. So those are the papers I'm going to be using. So let's get started. Oh, I do want to let you know, we do have this secret box #4 still available. If you do not have an advisor that already takes care of you and can get you the supplies that you need, you can go to my website and check it out. And you can order that secret box from the website that you see down below here. All right. But please, please, if you have an advisor, please continue to work with her and order off of her site. Okay, so the first one I'm going to use is this paper. I'm going to use the border cartridge, Border Maker cartridge on 3 of the papers. Okay, I'm going to be using kind of like my little folded trick on the first one here. What I want to do is put in the scoring blade. The scoring blade is already in. And I'm going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to score it at 1 inch. Okay. And then I'm going to fold it over. And then I'm going to add a little bit of repositionable tape to make sure that it doesn't get kind of stuck as I'm punching it. Okay, and I'm going to fold that down. And that way this will hold this together so it won't get stuck in the punch. Now, some of you may have seen my fold over kind of idea. This is not new because I've seen other advisors do it as well. I have this piece of paper here that's 1/4 of an inch wide. And most of the time I will use that 1/4 of an inch and not put the paper all the way to the end. This way, if I have something folded, I can punch part of it and then leave the other folded punch still so that the paper stays together. And this way it'll have this little window underneath that I can add another color to. So this one, I'm going to actually not even put all the way up to that 1/4 of an inch mark. So it's going to be about a 3/8 of an inch gap from the very end. I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. But as you can see, I didn't pull it all the way to the end. There's about a 3/8 of an inch gap here. So I'm going to put this underneath. I'll turn this over and kind of show you what it's going to look like. So I'm going to put the paper in here. It's going to lock in this section down here. And then you can see that the paper on the very edges is going to not cut that fold. But the rest of it is going to punch just a little bit of a shape off of there, okay? That's going to give us that little opening underneath that little window. So just push this all the way in, line up this mark here, this little tab right here, and line it up with the tabs as you go down. And you can just gently slide this down, punch each six punches, which just trim just a little bit off of there. Now I'm going to put my straight blade back in, and I'm going to cut this right along this 1 inch line right here. Okay, so I'm going to line this up the 1 inch. The little folded sections will just be right on that line. And then it should cut right along the other strip right there. And then we will just open this up gently and you'll be able to see that little window of a cut underneath. Okay, so there's that little window right there that we're going to put that gray piece of paper underneath. So there's our first piece. Now I'm going to put the scoring blade back in, and I'm going to do something similar with the next piece. So I'm going to score this again at 1 inch. And the only reason I'm doing it this way is so I only cut it once. If you're not really comfortable doing this, that's fine. Then you would just need to punch 2 of these pieces. So you'll have 2 pieces to go on either side. Okay, so I am going to put a little bit of repositionable tape on this as well. I think this is starting to run out. Just to hold it together. Now, when I put the paper in this holder, I am going to push it all the way up against the edge of this tray. I don't really care about the fold. It's going to cut the fold off, and that's fine. This way, I'll cut 2 pieces at the same time and save a little bit of time. Okay, now this, you have to make sure that this piece doesn't get stuck in your punch. So make sure you pull it out gently before you just start sliding it down with the rest of the punches. Okay. Toss that. Toss these. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the regular blade back in here, and I'm going to trim it right along the edge of the paper that I had folded. That's about 3/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit less than that. So just kind of line it up with the cut line as close as you can. And then cut it. Okay, now it's going to give us 2 separate pieces, which is totally fine, because they're going to go on either side of the other piece that we cut. Okay, so I'll put some adhesive on this. And I'm going to bring this piece back in, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. I really didn't measure this, you guys, so let me see if I can tell you what the measurement is. I'm going to put this, so since it's 2 inches across, I'm going to line this up at about the 1/8 inch mark. Bring it down as straight as I can. Okay, so there's 1/8 of an inch of this original paper showing. Now don't worry about that because that's going to get covered up with the next piece. But this will then give you the same consistent distance as you go down right there. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And it's going to be about 1/8 of an inch over from the right. Then eyeball that going down. Let's see, I think I need to move over a tiny bit. Pull it down. Okay, now we have our second layer on there. Okay, now we're going to go with a third color. And this time I am going to cut each side individually. So you will punch this twice. And I'm going to put it all the way to the end of the cartridge there. Push that down so the magnet holds it in place. Okay, pull it out so that little piece does not get stuck in there. And punch the rest of the way down. Okay, I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing. Since I don't have to worry about any direction or anything on this, it just works fine to do 2 edges and then cut them both off at the same time. Let's see. Right, so now we've got both of those pieces cut. Get rid of all the little extra pieces here. Now I'm going to trim this at about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and it will cover up that other little part that we had left showing. But you don't need a whole lot, so just 3/4 of an inch on one side and on the other side. And this way your border is going to end up being about 2 1/4 inches. Okay. Now the last piece is the gray piece that I'm going to put underneath on the bottom. And this I'm just going to make up an inch. You can do 3/4 of an inch. You can do an inch, just enough to close, to cover up that little window on the bottom of what our original piece. Okay. So now I'm going to bring this border back in here again, and I'm going to line it up. Going to put adhesive on these pieces. And I think I mentioned earlier, the key to this border is making sure you have enough diversity in the colors that all the different layers show through. Okay, so here I'm going to line this up about 1/8 of an inch on the other side of the 1 inch mark there. Let's see, I think I need to go over a little more because I want the same distance that I have from underneath. So that's going to need to go over about that far. So it's a little more than 1/8 of an inch. But what it does is it brings this piece about to the 1/2 inch mark. So down the center, you have the inch mark down the center and the inches on either side. This piece, the left-hand side of it, will line up with the 1/2 inch mark there on the top. Let's see if I lift this up, you guys can see this. Okay, so down the center is at the moment just where I lined it up. It's at the 7. So this dark brown piece, the left-hand side of it's lining up with that 1/2 inch mark. So it's taking it over a little more than 1/8 of an inch on the other side there, but I just wanted the same distance between all of these right here. Okay, so now it's easier for me to work off the right-hand side. So I'm going to turn this over. Do the same thing. And take this piece, move it over to where it's actually making this border about 1 inch, 2 inches, 2 3/8 inches. Is that equal? I don't think that's equal all the way down. Let me adjust this just a little bit. There we go. Okay, now we need to put the gray piece on the bottom, cover up that window. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on either side here where the fold is. Oops, I'm running out of tape on this one too. Okay, and now I'm just going to put the gray side face down because the gray is what I want to show through. And just put it down the middle of the border. Okay, and there you have the base of your border. You can put your embellishments on so that it's a vertical or horizontal. I have a few embellishments here that I'm going to add to it. And let's see. I can do it this way, or I can do it this way. And I think for the double page spread, I want this border going the opposite direction. The other one is a horizontal, so I'm going to have this one going a little different. So I'm going to put a little adhesive on this, and I'm going to put it down the middle. You guys can put more embellishments on if you'd like. I just didn't want to cover up the pattern that I had put on there. So I'm just putting one little section of embellishments. Put that family on there. And then I can add a few little leaves coming off of it if I want. Okay, kind of like that. And there we go. We are all done. Let me know what you guys think. Here's kind of the close-up of that embellishment there in the middle. And then the rest of the border. I love this. I love the colors in this because it's perfect for any type of occasion. So let's go back. So let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button if you like it, and share your comments if you've got extra ideas or if you have other suggestions. Just throw those in the comments and let me know what you think. I so appreciate all of you guys who are watching. And if you have some suggestions, or I also have a Monday night Zoom class that I do. I'm on the Pacific Coast. I'm on the West Coast. And so wherever you guys are, I started at 7:00 p.m. my time. So if that's a little late for you, just ask to join the email list, and I can throw you on there, and you can get the recording as soon as I'm done, and you guys can watch it from there. And but let me know what you think, and I hope you guys have an amazing week and a super blessed day. And I will talk to you again next week. Thank you. See you later.